On today's episode, Mr. Musk goes to Beijing, Cybertruck gets a much-needed upgrade, and we talk Tesla semi-production numbers. Elon Musk is pulling a lot of attention this week after what appears to have been a very successful diplomatic mission to China. Elon took a bit of a diversion from his usual landing site in the manufacturing hub of Shanghai and touched down in the country's center of political power, Beijing. Now, on the surface, this appears to be a pretty simple story. Tesla full self-driving is approved in China. Yay! But there are many layers to this one. Bringing FSD to China has been an ongoing battle for many years. China's government is notorious for many things, most of them being terrible, but one of them being very strict regulations, particularly on foreign-owned companies, and even more particularly when it comes to data collection and mapping, which are key elements of Tesla's FSD software. Most people might not be aware of how strict the Chinese regulations are, but Google Maps does not work in mainland China. Go ahead, try dropping the little street guide into downtown Beijing. Nothing happens. It does work in Hong Kong, for now at least, but that's the closest that you'll get. Now, any late model Tesla vehicle can drive autonomously in any location using just computer vision alone, and a human being in the driver's seat to occasionally avert disaster, but FSD still needs a map so that you can tell your robot car where you want to go and it can plan out a route to take you there. In this case, Tesla has not been allowed to conduct their own mapping in China, but they have engaged in a partnership with the Chinese internet giant Baidu to leverage that company's mapping technology. Baidu also operates their own network of fully autonomous, driverless taxicabs in major Chinese cities. The bonus here to Tesla is that through their partnership with Baidu, Tesla will be allowed to collect data from public roads. This is the real payoff. Sure, the obvious and immediate benefits is going to be financial. Now Tesla can give their Chinese customers the option to purchase FSD, which opens up a whole new stream of revenue for the company. We still don't know what that business model might look like, whether they offer it as a one-time purchase or a subscription model, or both. Would Tesla use the same Kickstart method that they just deployed in the US and give every Tesla owner a free month of FSD? Maybe. The company says that they have around 1.7 million customers in China right now. And what would FSD in China actually look like, though? Could Tesla actually roll out the most advanced navigate on autopilot and auto steer on city streets features to a market with no existing training data? Probably not. And this is where Elon's diplomacy comes into play. It's one thing to be allowed to collect data through a Chinese third party, but what Tesla really needs to do is be allowed to export that data back to the US so that they can feed it into their AI training clusters and teach the software how to drive in China. Because right now, through a computer vision-based approach, the cars can only be truly useful if they can learn to walk the walk and talk the talk on Chinese roads. This has been a hot-button issue for Tesla in China for a very long time. In many places, Tesla vehicles have been banned. Not because they're considered dangerous or flammable, but because they are rigged up with cameras that are pointed in all directions. It's almost comical, really. Tesla is facing an entirely different set of hurdles to overcome. In America, it's all about convincing people that electric cars are good, actually. In China, they love EVs, but they hate the idea of American cameras being pointed at them. And they especially don't like the idea of that camera video being shipped off to the US and run through a giant supercomputer. I mean, I don't love that aspect either, if I'm being totally honest with you. Anyway, it's up to Elon Musk to work his charm on Beijing to make this all happen. For whatever reason, Elon seems to be very adept at winning over the Chinese. He potentially hypnotized them with this bizarre dance routine in early 2020. I don't know. What we can say is that Tesla is very close to a major opportunity here. In the short term, an injection of cash from new Chinese FSD users will be fantastic for the company's bottom line, particularly after Elon just said that Tesla intends to dump $10 billion into AI training and inference in this year alone. The new feature also gives Tesla a much-needed leg up on their new Chinese competition. Not only is the market being flooded with bargain bin EVs from the likes of BYD and Xpeng, but even smartphone makers like Xiaomi are jumping into the EV game. And that company allegedly is building 10,000 cars in their first 32 days of production. Somehow. But again, the real opportunity for Tesla here is to open up China as a new training ground for their AI self-driving model. We'd be looking at a potential doubling in training data and a whole new world of edge cases for FSD to learn from. If successful, it could be just the thing that Elon needs to make his autonomous dreams come true.
Something that we don't talk about often would be the downsides to Tesla ownership. There aren't many, but one of the most glaring issues is going to be curb rash. The way Tesla designs their rims just makes them much more susceptible to close encounters with the concrete and more than likely to come away with a few battle scars. Now, here's the solution. Rim case is like armor for your Tesla rims. All you do is snap in the segment of your rim case directly over top of the wheel. They are perfectly matched to the color and shape of any stock Tesla rims with the Uber turbine or induction style, and after just a few minutes of work, you can barely even tell that anything has changed, but your wheels are now protected. Even if you've already scuffed up your rims, rim case is an affordable and easy way to cover up that ugly curb rash. And now, if you ever scratch the rim case, simply remove the damaged segments and replace them in seconds. Compared to expensive repair jobs on your aluminum wheels, the rim case will continue to save you more money the longer you use it. So, save money and protect your Tesla by clicking the link in the description and use code TheTeslaSpace at checkout for 15% off your order.
Tesla has rolled out a new software upgrade for the Cybertruck, and it delivers on most of the advanced features that were for some reason absent from the vehicle on its release. The update package is mostly centered around the off-roading and overland capabilities of the Cybertruck, which have been famously lackluster, but there is a good reason for it. Differentials are mechanical units that direct rotational torque from the vehicle's motor to its wheels. Most cars are built with an open differential, which freely allows the wheels on either side of the vehicle to rotate at different speeds. This is essential for making a car go around a corner. The drawback of this open design is that it will always send all of the available torque through the path of least resistance, which means that the tire with the least amount of traction gets all of the power. So if even just one of your four wheels gets off the ground or ends up on a slippery chunk of ice, then your whole car is going nowhere. This is a phenomenon that we've observed with many early Cybertruck videos. Traction control can be very helpful, but in many cases, it's fighting a losing battle. Enter the locking differential, the highlight feature of Tesla's new Cybertruck software. When you lock a differential, you essentially create a solid axle, where maximum torque is being delivered to both wheels at all times. So now it doesn't matter if half your truck is up in the air. As long as one wheel is touching the ground, you can move forward. Now there's one case where this theory doesn't apply, and that's on the tri-motor Cyberbeast. With two independent rear motors, there is no differential. Here, Tesla applies what they call a virtual locking differential, which is going to be entirely software controlled, but should be able to accomplish even higher levels of traction efficiency by actively controlling the power delivery to each rear wheel, something often referred to as torque vectoring. Tesla also says that their overland mode delivers more consistent handling and better traction while driving on rock, gravel, deep snow, or sand, essentially meaning that they have an improved traction control algorithm that's optimized for off-road conditions. There's also Baja mode. This one says the vehicle handles more freely when stability assist is set to minimal, essentially meaning that if you want to do a lot of drifting over sandy surfaces, this is your mode. Trail assist is an interesting one. I've never heard of anything like this before. It's like cruise control, but for off-roading. It sounds like a solution to the most common mistake people make when driving off-road, either giving the car too much gas or not enough. Both will get you stuck. Tesla says that trail assist works as both a hill ascent and descent control, helping to keep the wheels from slipping. We also get new traction control algorithms for on-road driving called slippery surface, which delivers better control on snowy, icy, wet, or slick roads to distribute traction evenly across all tires, which is very smart. All cars really should have different traction control for dry conditions versus slippery roads. You can even lock the rear diff when in slippery surface mode, but that should only be used when needed because you really can't turn corners with a locked axle. Then there's a new setting for ride and handling with a load, essentially using the adaptive suspension to even out the handling of the Cybertruck when you have a heavy payload throwing off the balance. And finally, the Cyber Tent mode keeps you level when you're trying to sleep in the back of your Cybertruck. Noticeably absent from this list? Autopilot. Your Cybertruck can still not achieve any level 2 driving features. Tesla has not indicated when or if that might be coming. That's probably fine though, it's nice to have things to look forward to. With all of this stuff going on last week, we totally missed out on talking about the new Tesla semi-production update. So let's spend a minute on that. We know that Tesla appeared to have finally launched their all-electric semi-truck in December of 2022, with the initial fleet of a couple dozen trucks rolling out to PepsiCo in California. But that was about all that really happened, just that one set of trucks. Then, in 2023, Tesla announced the new expansion of Giga Nevada that would integrate Tesla semi-production into the OG Gigafactory, and finally bring the long-neglected battery plant to its full glory. The goal at the time was volume production in late 2024. According to our latest update from Tesla, the real launch of the Tesla Semi will be coming in late 2025 and early 2026. And this is coming from a brand new Tesla Semi factory that is being constructed on a totally separate footprint from the original Giga Nevada. And by under construction, we mean that a plot of land has been graded, but it looks fantastic. We were also told that engineering and design of the Tesla Semi isn't actually complete yet. What Tesla's VP of Vehicle Engineering, Lars Moravi, said last week was, quote, "So we're finalizing the engineering of the Semi to enable like a super cost-effective, high-volume production with our learnings from our fleet and pilot fleet and Pepsi's fleet, which are expanding this year marginally." At least now we have a factory location where things are happening. We can gauge Tesla's actual progress with our own eyes. So, stay tuned.